Mm-hmm.
Oh, hello, Internet. I didn't see you there. Thanks for coming tonight. I'd like to start off by lighting a soothing candle. This one is scented like the whiskey, Fireball. Delightful. Next, I'd like to take us on a journey with my old friend, Sailor Jerry. Let him plot the course, set the mainsails, top the topgallants, and, do the thing.
It's a good glug.
As we settle in for this week's dose of the Dark One's taint. Oh, Daddy. Welcome to BTP. It's me. I'm Josh. I'm the Soravan Mahale, and we're gonna have some fun tonight.
Hopefully, you weren't like desperately trying not to like pee in your pants on the way to work or something just now. The swerve on the hill just made it way harder.
That's what I do. Look,
Only
you
on
set
occasion.
me up. You set it up. I couldn't not. You.
Hey, what can I say? I'm one of your other Mahales. My name's Andrew. I'm the Bajan Mahale. I make things soft. I don't fucking know. It's a cool world.
What do you do?
I'm
Uh-oh.
Oh, get quiet again.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay. The taint comes for us all.
The taint is, I don't know what's happening. Can you hear
There
me
we go.
now?
I can hear you
Good.
now.
Okay, cool. I'm Reese. You're Ethan Mahale. You're no glove, no love Mahale.
Heard it straight from the Ethan Mahale. The A is silent. It's just Ethan Mahale.
Ethan.
Ethan.
Like
Not to be
heathen,
confused with
but without
Ethan Hawke.
the huh.
No, tell Mater.
Just cough real quick for us.
Excellent.
I got plenty of coughs. That's all it takes, man. I'm sick. It's fun.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy. You know what? This is to you guys. Cheers.
This is my dubby.
Oh, your dubby.
Yep.
Where should the people go if they too would like some dubby, sir?
I'm gonna go straight to hell and keep your hands off my dubby. They just came out with a new flavor today, Tiger's Blood. So if you want to catch that eye of the tiger, you can head on over to w.gg, use code BTP to get 10% off, or just click the link in the show notes or description below. Do that, get 10% off. It's great. It's fantastic. I use it. If it gives me enough energy to deal with Josh every Tuesday night, it'll give you enough energy for whatever you need.
You could say he was rising up, back on the streets, took his time and took his chances. You could say that.
I took my
You could even say
chance,
he went
like,
the
I don't know,
distance.
we've been doing this, 7 years? I took my chance 6 years ago.
Dude, okay. Like in the spirit of, now that we've had yet another roster update. And welcome, Reese. Like again, like it's super exciting. Super excited to have you here. But it makes me think back, like the fact that you and Aaron started this whole fucking gravy train of running 7 years ago. And in that time, we've had 4 or 5 roster changes.
Yeah, because Aaron stepped away, and then we
Then you
had
had Thorn, and they took it for a minute.
I had both names for a split second.
But
Never
then there was,
forgotten.
like-
I'm just shit with names.
Was it Greg? Greg and Thorn?
Yeah. Thorn and
Okay.
Greg
Thorn and Greg.
that took over with Aaron helping them in the background, and then I came back. They left. Daniel came in, and then you came in.
Well, you had like one guy that was on for like one episode. I guess he doesn't count as a roster. He's more like a guest at this point, huh?
You're only on for like one or two episodes. I'm not gonna count that
Okay.
as like a guest
That makes
thing.
sense. And now Reese.
And then you came
Nice
in,
to see where the
and then
bar
Daniel
is.
left. No reason.
Yeah. Don't worry. You will have no problems here. That's what happens, though. The taint look. Your lifespan at the Black Tower is limited, man. You're gonna go crazy, and we're gonna have to put a little something in your Sailor Jerry.
Wait,
I don't make the rules. Yes, I do. I make them.
You make some of them.
That right
There
there.
you go. A little something in the wine.
Hell yeah! You
Keep
even
that
got it
close
on
by.
a flash. Look at
just in
you.
case.
I mean, look on the upside. Like you got your own brand new custom Mahale name.
That's right.
Josh
And we're gonna-
Josh inherited his secondhand.
That's true. I promoted myself too. Remember that? I was all
Oh, yeah,
nervous about it. I was all like, "Oh, I'm gonna be the Sorvan Mahale," and then I like logged in and I was like, "Hey guys, by the way, I changed my name to Sorvan Mahale on everything. Is that cool?" And Andrew and Daniel were both like, "Yeah, that's cool."
Like,
This is an
you're better off
episode of
asking
South
Aaron
Park
than
in
you
my
are
head,
us.
and I'm so excited.
Yeah, I don't know that I ever
What
got
is-
Aaron's seal of approval for that.
I think he did because we had him on. He came back on a while later to rehash something with us. Either way,
he had beef.
how would you like to tell the people listening that may not know, may not be well versed, what the Athon Mahale means?
Yeah. What does it mean to you, Reese? How does it make you feel inside?
The Athon Mahale, it's the shields. So it is the defense leader, the shield leader. So we're gonna hold down the fort. That's my job.
Hold the line.
You could say, in a sense, you function almost as like the prophylactic for the Black Tower. You keep us safe. You keep us protected.
You can't deny this.
Keep those dirty, nasty, and infectious enemies away. Oh, we got a snort. There we go. Yeah.
Dude, it just makes all of our spoiler warnings, like all of our condom joke spoiler warnings, it just adds to it. It's just funny as fuck. Oh God.
We're gonna have to give you the
say,
soundboard so that you can play all the spoiler warnings.
It even sounds cool to be like, oh, look, you could be in the Athongar and be in the defense, and you have a special, you have a Gar exclusive weave called the Phalanx, and like, you know, and it's gonna be cool. But no, let's make it a condom joke again. God.
This is an old favorite called the Jimmy formation. We use our shield phalanxes on either side to guide them into the reservoir in the middle where they all meet their end.
I just love the Black Tower.
Oh yeah. There we go.
Everybody glove up.
Hey, speaking of something in the wine.
No, I'm not making that.
Now I just picture, like, along with the yellow Aja going out, we sent out the Athongar and just handing out like condoms around the West.
Dude, can we get branded rubbers? Like, seriously, is that a thing? Can we get that? Like,
Bruh,
contact
that would
Trojans
actually be
and like,
hilarious if, like,
put
Reese
our-
just gets to run around conventions handing out Black Tower rubbers. And just on the back, just be like,
join the
just on the
Athongar.
back, it just says, like, courtesy of the Athongar. Bruh.
Oh shit! And we could tell the Leaf Cast whenever they make their joke about con hookups, be like, "Well, tell them to join the Athongar."
If you don't want a consequence, make sure you join the Athongar.
A consequence, yeah.
We will not be responsible for Taviran.
99% effective. Not proven in the state of Utah.
60% of the time, it works every time.
All right. With all that said and done, and speaking of protection,
What an intro, guys.
we're gonna give our listeners / watchers protection now. I mean, more the listeners. If you're watching, just close your eyes and listen to this next part. It'll stimulate you. It'll make you get a glimpse into the training at the Black Tower. Here is your spoiler warning for this episode.
You have arrived at the Black Tower. You have been deemed worthy to accept the lessons the Mahales have crafted for your edification. This will be no easy task. You will be trained. You will be tested. You will be torn asunder. You must be destroyed and made new, that the glory of the Lord Dragon may enter you and guide you into the depths of madness. You will be broken. You will be tainted. You will be spoiled. Be warned. Too much taint will lead to madness. Temper your appetites, lest you be sent for a taste of my special vintage. If you do not wish to enter my beloved tower and be so spoiled, you are welcome to leave now and forever turn your back on honor, glory, and brotherhood. To leave after is to reserve your place on my tree. No deserters? Good. Then prepare. Attend your betters. You will be spoiled. Shaman!
Love it. I love it. That's such a, it's a good one.
I love there's a part of the background where you can hear someone go like, "That's right, just like that." I'm like,
I like all of our, you know what we should do as Mahales? We should record our own spoiler warnings and add them to the mix. But what I was going to say is I love our patrons' spoiler warning contributions. I love every single one of them. They are all so great. You guys are some creative motherfuckers. And if you want to record a spoiler warning, join the Patreon. Join the Patreon. It's super cheap to do so. I think the ability to record a spoiler warning is at the lowest tier, or is it at the soldier tier?
no. As soon as you become a family member at the tower, you can do it at any level.
Which you can do for less than $1 a month.
Minimum purchase required.
Like if you do it for less than $1 a month, it's like the annual pass, and it's like $10 and change or $11 and change.
$10.80 a year USD.
Yeah. So it's like $1.20. But I mean, that's like 90 cents a month, and you too can help a starving soldier.
And with Rusties and an insane amount of luck, you too can look like me.
Ka-chow. No, but you can record a spoiler warning for us, and we've got some great ones out there. Maybe we get on Cameo and just start looking for some unhinged shit. And
well, is he still going for you, or is he just?
He's glitching out, and it's great.
He left.
Oh, that's a shame. Well.
I clicked him back in, but he clicked himself back out. Oh, here he is.
I heard that, Reese. What a shame. Dang it. Poor
guy. Poor guy.
Right. 1 second.
One.
Okay. Got a response from the expert in the old tongue, pronounced Ethan. So you were right from the start.
Ethan.
We are the champions, my friend. Mm-hmm. And we'll keep on fighting.
Oh no. His connection dropped
what
again.
A shame. That's so terrible.
No, that's so weird.
Look,
anyway,
right, like once a year, dude. Let me have this. Max headroom.
Oh, that made me laugh. I'm sick right now, so like the laughing hurts.
Yeah, you are.
Makes the butthole quiver in an uncomfortable manner. Oh man. Anyway, speaking of things that are uncomfortable and maybe make buttholes quiver, today's topic. This one
and peanut butter.
Yo,
what they mean for your rectum.
Do feet count as a flared base? And many more questions.
Wrong show.
So
that was awkward.
Thankfully, Josh, other than patron suggestions and other viewer suggestions for topics, generally Josh and I have to come up with ideas for what we're going to talk about here. And I think they're generally pretty decent, pretty good. We enjoy them. But we have a new Mahale who, in addition to making sure we're all protected and defended, also is a pretty deep thinker. Just getting all deep in your brain holes and crevices. Making sure the wrinkles are,
as it were.
Yeah.
All up in there.
So, Reese, would you like to introduce today's tonight's whatever's topic.
Okay.
The topic du
Today's
jour.
topic is, was it Brandon or the Bond? New writer. Who
But it was too easy to go with this topic and to use, since like there actually was a legitimate cast change in the show.
Oh my God!
To
Right?
go to
Perfect.
use to put the ghost of Barney Harris behind Donald Finn. Come on.
Look, I'm just
Also,
gonna.
I was this many seconds old whenever I thought about the fact that the guy playing Matt Cawthon's last name is Finn.
Yep.
Anyway.
Okay, look, I'm gonna throw it out. I'm just gonna throw it. I miss Barney. I do. I loved Barney.
He was
I
very
thought he was amazing. I thought he did such a
You know the
fantastic
fun thing
job.
about Barney
Huh.
is we love him, he loves
And-
you.
I walked right into that. Into that. I should have known. No, but he was great. I also love Donald. Like, he is also pretty damn amazing as Matt. And I think that this is such a fun sort of idea because there are some flavor differences, right? I mean, as far as like picking up the torch and running with it, Donald has done an amazing job, and he's just been absolutely fantastic. But Matt is one of those characters in the books that people get like real combative about. And Brandon Sanderson, to his credit, has even said, you know, Matt was the one that he had the hardest time relating to. Matt was the one that he didn't really, you know, get. And it was a challenge for him to write Matt. And so, yeah, I love this topic. So, Reese.
Literally, like, people will go like, "Oh, like I really loved Matt," you know, until the Gathering Storm. No, not Gathering Storm.
Which what?
Yeah, Gathering
Like, I
Storm.
don't know.
And I
Yeah,
feel like there
Gathering
are
Storm,
so many
Towers of Midnight, and
factors.
Memory of Light were
Like,
Brandon.
there are so many factors at play here that kind of like make it so hard to know, like, really, is it just the new writer, or is it the characters themselves changing? You know, there's so much happening in these books. Like, I think one of the main things is we have all of our characters.
Remember when everybody was like, let Barney blow, and then Barney didn't blow, and so they were like, let Donald doot, and Donald dooted.
You did.
He dooted. He done doodly dooted.
No, I just realized the other reason Fires of Heaven is my favorite book. It came out in 1993, the same year I was born.
Shut the fuck up. Reese, what were you saying? Sorry, we were in the middle of
I was saying words. There were things.
You were.
They were coherent, and
They were well formulated thoughts, even.
okay. Yeah, no. So when Brandon took over, there's a lot happening in these books at that time. So, like, for example, a lot of the Two Rivers characters are coming back together, and they haven't seen each other for a long time. So there is the whole, like, I haven't interacted with you in a long time. I haven't seen your growth as a person. So I'm going to kind of come to you as I knew you before. But is there also a bit of kind of reverting to an older character point in the writing as well because of Brandon taking over? Or is it just the things those characters have gone through that make them kind of react to these characters in a different way than they did? Like, there's so many different things happening. And one of the big things that I wonder about is a lot of them have bonded other characters. So what I always wonder is, does that bond carry over into the personality? Like, some of this personality change that we see, is it just the new writer? Is it the different circumstances they're going through? Or is there some feedback from the bond that they're acting a little bit like other characters rather than themselves?
Well, so for Matt specifically, just because we kind of kicked it off with Matt, I'm going to stick right here with Matt. For Matt specifically, obviously he's not bonded by the end, right? However, he does have the memories of hundreds, maybe thousands of generals and thousands of battles thousands of soldiers, whatever the case may be, he does have their memories in his head. And I like to think that canonically, real life, obviously, there's going to be differences, right? Because Brandon Sanderson is not Robert Jordan. He's not James Oliver Rigney Jr. Obviously, there's going to be some differences just because those two are two different people with two different experiences, vastly different experiences. Brandon, however, is a talented writer. He is. And he had notes from Robert Jordan. He had Team Jordan. He still had Maria. He still had Harriet. He still had Adam or Alan. Adam. Who's Adam?
Wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy?
Oh, you mean you don't know? Wow. What a plebe. I, a Wheel of Time originalist, would know.
Back in the 80s.
Right? Can we still make that joke, or is it played out? I don't care. I'm going to make it. But
Are
so
you
like,
played
obviously
out?
there's going to be some differences. But you also have at the Gathering Storm a turning point, right? Like this is I think it's fair to say, because you have what is widely referred to as the slog, which some people include Path of Daggers, but mostly people say Winter's Heart and Crossroads of Twilight are sloggy. Like that's the slog, right? And it makes sense that that would be the slog, because you've got Team Jordan trying to introduce new threads, wrap up old threads, wrap up plot holes. They're doing a lot of work. They're working overtime trying to get as much of the story as they can before he sadly passes. But keep in mind, they weren't just getting the current story. They were also getting the rest of the story. That's my Paul Harvey moment. And if you don't know who that is, I'm old. Shut up. There is, Brandon has even talked about when he comes in, he says, I want to read how it ends. I want to know how it ends, because there was a lot of the ending of the story was written by Robert Jordan before he passed, and Brandon just kind of used it. He didn't modify it. He didn't change it. Like he added a few things here and there. And I've made this challenge in the past, and I've said straight up, show me a segment in the books that is markedly or decisively Jordan or Sanderson. Because the problem is after Crossroads of Twilight is very much a everybody get into position for the final confrontation. And Gathering Storm kicks it off with, all right, this is the final push. This is the final countdown. And you've got characters like Rand, you've got characters like Matt, Egwene, the Emmons Fielders are all in a position where they have to sort of participate. They don't really have a choice not to. Perrin somehow figures out a way to still not, but it's okay because he has 10 seconds of really good stuff at the very end.
Because it requires him to do something that it turns out he didn't actually even do by the end.
Wait, right? So yeah, after the 10-year or the 15th anniversary revelation, whatever it was, Perrin literally did nothing throughout the entire series. I guess he took out Slayer. I don't know. Anyway, I'd like to think that part of what influenced Matt, part of what gained his sort of, because by the end of the story, he's much more on top of it, right? He's got, back to my original point here, he's got much more responsibility. He's got much more understanding of what he needs to do. And I feel like a lot of people equate that to Brandon, but keeping in mind that a good portion of the last 3 books was written by Robert Jordan. So that's my example. Now that I've blabbered on for 10 minutes. Sorry.
No, dude, you're fine. I mean, so Robert Jordan, I think when people try to talk about like the distinctions and the differences between RJ's writing and Brandon's, specifically in The Wheel of Time, is, I mean, the sheer fact of the matter is out of 15 books, we got to read RJ through 12 of them. So you got a pretty good continuous linear grasp on not just RJ's writing style, but RJ's writing style and changes in development in how he wrote the world and characters of The Wheel of Time. So development and changes that happened with the characters also carried over into his own development and changes and growth as he wrote, spanning from the 90s to early 2000s. I mean, it's inevitable. You don't go writing for 15 years plus. I mean, he wrote far longer than that, but specifically this series for 15 years plus without changing some aspects of how you write. But still, overall, Jordan, he generally was a lot more like kind of subtle in how he let things play out and would provide things to the reader. Brandon, on the other hand, was generally like a lot more direct about what was happening or the points he really wanted the readers to get and drive home. Like there might be like a little bit of subtlety, but it was generally going to be like a lot more kind of in your face, unless it was a point that the notes from Robert Jordan and Team Jordan kind of belabored or required him to keep it vague or to keep it ambiguous or something of that nature. Like Brandon's talked several times about like Bella, about how Harriet was like, no, you've got to kill Bella. Like, that's it. And then Truth and Justice and everything came out in The Companion, where Bella's alive in the Fourth Age and all is right with the world
because she's the creator.
Bella. If you could like make yourself anything, would you really? I'm not gonna say it. It'd piss off everybody that really likes horses. I wouldn't. I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna say horses are lame.
Tune into our only taints as we discuss why.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, in this, like, as I've talked about this, I think last episode, I started reading Mistborn. There definitely still is an element of Brandon where he lets you like figure out things from the character by their interactions and stuff. But Jesus Christ, did you figure it out, sir?
Sorry.
Felt like I was like going down like an elevator into the ocean and like the water was like, bubbling up past like the.
Okay, look, I was fidgeting and I did something that I couldn't undo, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
So you need to have a mute button. Your Stream Deck, you can make one on the mute button.
I've got one right here.
You should use that a lot more. Like right now is perfect. Oh, the mute button broke. Damn.
Yeah, well, no, I turned it off again. I didn't like it.
Clearly. No, but what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Mistborn. So like the characters still develop through like their actions, like kind of you still find out more about the characters through just what they do. It's not like he's just telling you like Timmy was a sad child, Timmy was angry. Like no, it's not like that direct and explicit, but you're not sitting there like wondering like what are these characters feeling about this. Robert Jordan writing characters and how they respond to things, you don't always get their POV and you don't always get an earnest reaction from them and how they feel. And there's a lot of like kind of blind spots in RJ's writing in terms of like getting a concrete answer. And it doesn't seem like there's as much of that from Brandon's finishing of the series, with the exception of, you know, like the bigger plot points that are meant to be ambiguous and unexplained. Like, how did Rand light his pipe? How did Cadsuane figure out that that was actually, you know, Rand in Morden's body? Did she actually figure that out? You know, why did they think she would make a good Amerlin? You know, questions we'll never get the answers to.
Things we may never know.
The world may never know.
What about you, Reese? Did you have like a specific?
Yeah, actually, the character that I always think about most with this is Egwene, because I feel like she has so many factors going at her in this topic. So at the end of the series, she's now back to dealing with Rand, dealing with Matt, back, you know, who she hasn't talked to in a very long time, but these are kids she grew up with. She knows their antics. She knows what they're up to. So there's that aspect of it. Plus, but then you have to say that she's gone through all of these things. She's dealt with Elida and kept a straight face and remained cool. And now we're going back to Rand and Perrin, and they're able to rile her like that. And it's like that. Okay. All right. I mean, I get that, like, you know, it's the hometown guys, but I also have to think that, like, but she's also bonded to Gawain, who is just riled by Rand breathing.
Duck
And
sauce
so
packet boy.
I always wonder, is there like some aspect of his personality that's like interference via the bond where she's like Rand because
Well-
of Godwin's feelings.
It's just Gawain's voice in the back of her head. Do it.
do it.
Where she's like, Rand, you can't do what you need to, like, no, you can't break the seals. You can't break the seals. You can't break the seals, Rand. Sorry, I don't know
To
what
be
came
fair,
over
like-
me. Like,
The first time they talk in like a year and a
The
half.
madness is already taking her.
It is the first time to like Rand and Egwene talk in a year and a half, and she's just watched like the first time they earnestly have a conversation in like a year or so. And everything she's seen and heard about him has been that he's just been like this just complete insufferable, stone cold like dictator basically. And he just shows up, and now he's like all calm, nonchalant, is like, "We must break the seals, Egwene. I know that you're leading these Aes Sedai," and she's all like, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
and she's always who I think of because I'm like, there's so many factors for her. You know, it's Rand. You know, it's Rand. It's not the dragon. It's Rand.
It's
Okay.
Rand.
But then you've got that she's been
Tim.
she's been bonded to Gawain for a while, where if there's any type of feedback that can't be positive for her in regards to Rand, especially, who does not have good feelings towards him. And then
course I
you've
go to make a
got
point,
the
and I'm like,
new
"Oh,
author, where it's like, gosh, what is, how many different factors are coming at her? Like,
Yeah, that's a
mean,
fun point because
this is only the second time that they have. Sorry, I was gonna make this point earlier, but my fucking contact decided to pop out.
Oh.
And
a
lost
likely
all train of word.
story.
that's what I would say too. Yep, look
It's right
at that.
there.
Yeah, I can do that too.
Shut up. I mean, it's not my fault. You're too blind to see the clearly blue contact right there.
Look, this right
that
here.
little button you
Joke's
hit.
on you.
that
I
little-
just didn't put my contacts in to start.
This is what I need right here for reading.
Yeah.
Oh, look
You know
at that.
why? You know why
Read
I
the
don't
comments,
use
yeah.
those? Because they don't actually work for me. Because my shit's a little bit worse than yours. So, how about you hit that little mute button again?
Maybe if you were an eyesight originalist, Josh.
Totes.
If you realize,
I had eyesight before you guys even knew eyesight was a thing, which is a hipster way of saying I'm older than you.
yeah. I mean, that's obvious. Oh. Anyway, the last time they were in a room together, earnestly talking about something that they both felt was important, they were talking about them not being beholden or betrothed to each other anymore. They haven't
So
been
she was
alone in a
breaking up
room
with him.
talking about.
So
And then
there
got
are
mad
some
because he was like,
feels
"Oh, thank
going
God
on
you
here."
said it. I didn't want to hurt your feelings." And she's like, "Well, wait.
He's like,
hold on."
wrong answer, buddy.
She was like, "No, I was dumping you. You can't dump
No.
me."
I'm dumping you. This isn't mutual. I'm dumping you. You should be sad. Your life is ruined. Like, well,
It's an insult. It's devastating. You're
given
devastating.
who
He's born
she chose in
accordingly,
the end, given who she chose in the end, on that front, he might have dodged a. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna put a whole lot of not relationship stock in somebody that willfully chooses Gawain. Relationship stock specifically.
Dude, look, that's it, right? It's like if someone's like, I'm gonna pursue my career, right? I.e., become a wise woman. Okay, and then later on become an Aes Sedai. Like, okay, like you got the boss bitch energy, you got that high powered female ambition. Like you want to prove yourself. Like hell yeah, go for it. Like that's like I'm more.
She does a really good job at all of that.
I'm more
She just
understanding
sucks at
of
the game
that
alone.
than if she says, I just really want to give him a chance because he's like a really good DJ and he's gonna be a famous DJ one day. And I'm like, you dump me for a DJ and that bridge is burned.
Well, that's the thing. Like that, the last time they talk is whenever, like Rand's like just trying to figure out what to do about the fact that he likes this other noble girl, but he feels betrothed and beholden to Egwene, but realizes they've grown apart. Doesn't want to be the one to hurt Egwene's feelings, and then Egwene is just kind of like saunters in there with her "I'm gonna become an Aes Sedai" confidence, even though she's not one yet. She got the fucking arrogance down pretty early on, though.
That she do.
Which I blame Moraine for that. That's all Moraine's fucking fault right there. But like, oh man, it does like it's like throwing water on a fire on hot embers though. Like when you steel yourself and prepare yourself to give someone bad news, and then you do, and they're like, "Oh, thank God you were gonna do that because I've been wanting to do that, but I didn't want to hurt your feelings." And then I'm not gonna lie,
Like,
that's
no,
happened
no.
to me before, not in a relationship way, but like bad news way, and it's kind of like, no, I was gonna tell you that.
God damn.
And it's just like, no, like it sucks, but it like almost makes you like defensively angry when it happens.
So
Because you were prepared to be the one hurting feelings. You weren't prepared to have your feelings hurt.
correct.
So you go through like 4 different emotions at one time and you default to aggression.
So
But yeah,
Egwene
but
then-
since then, they never talked alone in a serious context about something important to both of them
Which
until
I get, but I just feel like she's gone through so many other things that should make her more capable of like
Yeah.
handling these emotions. Like it's just like I don't know. He's just like her trigger word. Like Rand walks into the tent and she's like, Rand.
Rand.
it's like, oh, it's a
William
lovely day.
Shatner
Then
moment.
Rand just exists, and she's like, look at that bitch over there, fucking breathing.
Fucking breathing.
Which is what Gawain would say. That's what I mean. Is there
At
a
least
little bit of
Gawain has
feedback
like
there?
some self-absorbed reason to hate Rand. He just
But see, that's
He
what
doesn't,
I'm
buys
though.
onto
At
the
the end,
lie.
he doesn't.
No, he does because he fully buys into the. Not by the time this happens, but before then, he's been steeped in anger because he buys into all of the stories he's been told that Rand killed his mom, and
Right.
everybody that's an authority in his life that he has
Right.
from that point until they finally get to find the truth, and basically Egwene's like, no, really, he did not kill your mom. Because I don't think they ever get concrete proof that she's not dead.
I love how the first time Egwene tells him this, she goes, "No, there's no way. Rand didn't do that. There's no way. Rand didn't do that." Like Gawain gives her the equivalent of a, "Okay, that's really sweet. Just
You know, you grew up
pat you
together,
on
but
your
he's been
head
gone for a
and,
long
okay,
time. Have
I
you
guess
heard all
I'll-
the other shit he's been doing?
I guess I'll believe you because you're so pretty." And then this works on her. Yeah, you think I'm pretty?
It's all around cringy.
I mean, we could just throw out the whole like kids are stupid. Like, I mean, they're all young
they
and they're
are.
stupid. Like, I mean,
Gawain's safe word is more gays because it stops him from doing anything fun.
Specifically, more gays and not mommy.
Yeah. Specifically, he's got to use the actual name. He tried mommy once, and Egwene got confused and put another blood knife ring on him. That was whenever he had 2. Yeah.
No mames, no mames. Oh, pendejo.
3 blood knife rings is too much.
Oh, fuck. If 1 blood knife ring good, 3 blood knife rings even more gooder. Fucking moron. Like, okay, so one emotional change that is confirmed, that is 100% established canonically, is that if your warder dies, all happiness is ripped from you, and you spend the next decade of your life sobbing uncontrollably. Even Swan Sanche, who was a paragon of power, willpower, and self-control and self-will, even she like found herself sobbing over the death of her warder 30 and 40, 50 years later. Gawain, fucking idiot, decided that he would endanger his life, knowing that that was the consequence and knowing the important role Egwene had to play yet in Tarmangaiden. The hell's wrong with you, dude? And then we want to talk about, personality differences, and I'm like, yeah, well, that's one canonically established. That luckily they found a loophole. Otherwise, what would have happened? Also, to your point, Reese, just going specifically with the bond between Egwene and Gawain, the second Gawain dies, Egwene kind of starts making more rational decisions. She immediately bonds, again, spoilers, Bail Doman and Lalwyn Shipless, whatever her name is at this point in time. They become her co-bonded warders. Well, no, not co-bonded, but they become her couple warders. It's a polycule. And they find out that that's kind of a loophole, right? But shortly after that, like Egwene starts really stepping up the campaign. I'm kind of flubbing here. So if you guys know for sure,
no,
feel free to
no,
correct me.
I'm totally on board with you here. When she goes through the loss, but she also realizes that if there's one time in the history of ever that you cannot deal with the loss of your warder, it is now. And she bonds somebody else to help deal with it because she can't think emotionally. She has to think logically here.
Oh, and she's got all the Aiel training to help her.
And all of a sudden, she's
up.
like, we need to break the seals. And it's like, you've been fighting him on this the entire time. You've been nonstop saying how you can't break the seals. You can't break the seals. You don't know anything. You can't break the seals. And now all of a sudden, she's on her own. She's got a new warder. And, we have to break the seals. This is when you have to do it. And I'm like.
So how much do you think that was Brando Sando?
Well, and that's where I don't know. Was it, or was it just the bond feeding back and forth? Was that a planned thing with the bond, or is that just the way it happened to be written?
This goes back to my original challenge. Is I challenge people to come to me and tell me where the difference is. Right? This line was written by Robert Jordan. This line was written by Brando Sando. This line was written by, and the only person / people that I think know for sure would probably be Team Jordan and maybe Innkeeper Hatch and Brando Sando himself. Probably everybody else who claims to know that Brandon ruined the series because Matt talked about boots. Shut up. We have few things that are confirmed that are actually Brando Sando, which is Hinderstap. Hinderstap exists purely because of Brando Sando. Now, Harriet was telling him, get darker, get scarier. The pattern is unraveling. Reality is literally unraveling around everyone. Give me examples of that. So the entire village of Hinderstap was written by Brandon Sanderson in order to meet that requirement. And Harriet loved it. It was Team Jordan approved, obviously, or else it wouldn't have made it in the book. The boots conversation, people say that, and I think Brandon Sanderson confirmed that he wrote that sequence, but I thought it fit Matt's character really, really well. He didn't want 100 pairs of bloody boots. He wanted 3 pairs of boots. And the fact that people bragged about having 100 pairs of boots made him irritated. It frustrated him. And that fits his character. Yeah, sure, a little lace, just enough to be presentable. And of course, we make jokes about it, he actually wears a ton. He's dressed up in a tuxedo every fucking day because he likes it. But he's just a little bit, just to be presentable. But the reality of the situation is he probably did dress nice, but it wasn't nice. He wasn't rolling up in Armani suits every day. I just don't.
Pretentious ass wears an Armani jacket.
Oh, bro, look, the devil wears Prada. Ashiman wear Armani. Armani. I've reached out to you. I've emailed you several hundred times. Where's my Ashiman jacket? I know you guys have it. By the way, Reese, I don't know if you knew this or not, but Armani definitely watches our show.
I would assume so.
Black Tower podcast.
It's just I don't know why we're not already utilizing that.
Soon to be sponsored by Armani. I'm calling it.
Clearly, it's right around the corner.
Bonded.
I don't know. My challenge stands. If you can tell me accurately which sequences were written by Brando Sando and which sequences were written by Robert Jordan, Like, I'll buy you a drink. This is because it's not possible.
I mean, not possible or not probable.
All my Bezos shill account.
Uh,
That's what this is right here. The Horn of Bloody Valier.
Matt always wears derelict.
Derelict.
Derelict who? What?
You can
Who's
just
this Dara and why do they keep running around licking things? What the hell?
my balls. I love Zoolander. It was great. All right. Did we cover our topic or did we just tangent the whole night?
I feel like we covered it.
Okay, good. As we say around here, the bricks of the Black Tower are held together by the mortar of tangent. So it's okay. But I'm glad we covered it.
It definitely feels like that because I've been like half distracted the whole episode by every time you move. So when you do it that exaggerated, it doesn't work. It's like that subtle like After Effects thing where like whenever you just like move a little bit and the camera just focuses on you.
Yeah, it's when you lean forward. Lean forward. Yeah. Tiny little move.
It's a subtle trick that I learned in YouTube school. You do that and people go, "Why am I looking at this? Why does it hold my attention? What is going on?"
Apparently it works, man. Clearly.
Yeah, because we've got so many viewers now.
I'm paying attention.
You're welcome.
I couldn't listen before, but I can listen now. Anyway, what do you guys think? How some characters act seemingly differently, or the changes that we see in characters from Crossroads of Twilight and Knife of Dreams up through Gathering Storm and A Memory of Light. What do you think it is? Do you think it's some of the bonds with the characters? Do you think it's a new writer? Do you think it's a bit of both? Because that's the cop-out answer. And that's the easy answer. Of course it's a bit of both. But what do you think plays a bigger part? Do you think it's more the Brandon having to deal with getting a whole bunch of notes and put them together, and under the pressure of doing this epic fantasy series justice and trying to write it like he thinks Robert Jordan would have tried to write it, immediately realizing that whenever Robert Jordan said, "Hey, there probably needs to be 2 more books," there's gonna have to be at least a total of 3 more books because there's no fucking way. Or actually, even just 1 more book. I think the thought was that maybe they could get it done in 1 more book. But
that was when Robert Jordan was about ready to pass, they had like made out this big thing. They were like, "Look, the next book, that's it. It's the last book. It's the last book." And then Brandon Sanderson was hired to finish the series and went, "It's gonna be 3 books," and everybody was so pressed. Oh my God, the whining and crying in the forums. Forums were the way that we communicated on the internet back then. In those days, kids. But the
back in the day,
crying,
you had to post something and wait for somebody
God.
to get annoyed by how wrong you were before they would tell you how wrong.
Brandon Sanderson, this is such bullshit. This is obviously just a cash grab. I want to know how the story ends. Now, look, if you were one of these people, I get it. I understand. You want to know how the story ends. You didn't want. We were told 1 more book. But when someone came out and said 3 more books, three more books of your favorite series, why is that a bad thing? I will die on this hill. It was not a bad thing. It was a great thing. And to this day, I am grateful that we have those 3 books. And I'm grateful that Brandon Sanderson was smart enough as an author to come in and immediately recognize that this is too much information for 1 book. Guys, the last battle, that last chapter is longer than Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. It's longer than that whole book.
Come in. Of course he's Mormon.
Wait, I do have to say something though.
Say it.
Have you guys seen the size of Winds of Truth?
Are you saying that one of the bad habits that Brandon Sanderson picked up is being overly verbose?
I have to be honest. When I got that book, the first thing I thought of was like, I feel like this is all 3 of those put together.
It might be.
I feel like not quite, but it's real close.
Jesus. Well, let us know what you all think down in the show notes or whatever. If you're trying to make sure you don't commit cyber crimes, it used to be the default back in the day. Though
Also,
I very
also,
quickly
that
started
is
to
not enough
never.
to clear you of any sort of conversing with minors.
Oh
You
yeah,
can't
it's
say
not like.
she said she was 22 and get away with it.
But she said she was 12.
Don't matter.
That's a bad reference. Well, I mean, 12 isn't going to help you. That's the opposite direction. You were talking to an 8-year-old, but she said she was 12. Like
Wow.
that's not going to help you.
Better.
No,
But
What the
okay.
fuck is that from?
not good. Not good.
We appreciate the honesty.
Do we?
It's an obscure reference, I know, but I'm not crazy. Where the fuck was it? I can find.
You
there's
are,
a
though.
video of
Get
the
it?
person-
Hey-o. Well, folks, we've had a great time here tonight. I hope you've had a great time here tonight too. Reese, what are your final thoughts on this particular topic on the personality differences in the last 3 books?
I think, I mean, of course, there's going to be small differences from writers, of course. However, I think the bulk of them have to do with. Sorry, I think most of them actually do have to do with their experiences in the books and the bigger ones from the Bond. I really do think, like, especially like Egwene's. I think a lot of hers has to do with Gawain's feelings. I feel like it's she's picking up feedback from him. You know, even just walking into that meeting, he's probably just terrified of her walking into that meeting because she doesn't trust him. And so, of course, she's walking in. She's like, I don't trust anything you say. I don't know why, but I don't trust it. And so I feel like that's probably it. I feel like that's most of it. It's probably that Bond.
Love it.
She walked in thinking that she was going to be talking to Kinslayer. And she walked
Nope.
in talking to Bodhisattva Ran.
This dick. What? Sorry. What?
Yeah.
Sorry. Andrew, what are your what are your final
Our final thoughts are help us. We're in financial ruin.
Look? It's not the time for reality right now. This is our escape from reality. God damn it.
No, I think it has more to do with the Bonds and trying to put characters in 3 books where the original thought was they were going to be in 1 book, and even then feeling rushed because how at what point do you say I can't just keep writing more books for somebody else's series? We can't keep making it that long. I think making it to where instead of writing 1 book or 2 books, writing 3 books was a massive boon and concession kind of for Brandon, because he did have to pause a fair portion of his own stuff to do it. I think that's something that some people that are very critical of Brandon and how he wrote for Wheel of Time maybe forget was that he did put his own personal professional career on pause essentially to do justice or do his best effort to do justice to Wheel of Time.
And he was a fan.
So just like with anybody else that does good things and gives up things, you got to give people their credence for what they give up, for them trying to do the best they can. But the bonds also function as like a nice way to help explain why a character may act differently or act out when they otherwise wouldn't. I mean, the Shadow itself planned to use the bond as the reason, as the way to make the Dragon Reborn lose his mind at the opportune moment so they could win. So,
Correct.
It's actually one of their better plans. Just,
You're not wrong. Yeah.
So, just too bad that by the time they actually have good ideas, doesn't fucking matter. Because Justin Bieber may not say never, but y'all don't get that luxury.
Heyo.
But yeah, no, I think it's
for me. I'll say what I've always said, and that is that you can't tell me outside of what has been identified, like confirmed identified. You can't tell me this segment reads like Brandon Sanderson. You can't tell me this segment reads like Robert Jordan. Shut up. You can't. You can't. I'm sorry. You can't. And here's how I know you can't. Because Brandon Sanderson himself stated that he learned a lot from writing The Wheel of Time and adapted a lot of his writing style to Robert Jordan based on his experience finishing the Wheel of Time series. He talks about a book that he was writing that he put down to help finish the series, came back to and went, this is garbage, and rewrote it. Guys, it's okay. Brandon, show me on the doll where Brandon Sanderson hurt you. He didn't. Okay, you hurt yourself. You can't hurt your own feelings and then blame someone else for it. I mean, you can.
That's called shame.
It just makes you delulu. But I personally, I love the last two books. We are doing our Watt reread right now. We are on Winter's Heart. Okay, Winter's Heart. We're currently reading Winter's Heart because it's the beginning of March, and March is Winter's Heart month. And so if you're following along with us, make sure you're in Winter's Heart this month. Jordan Con is coming up in April. This is going to be super cool. I'm going to be there. Andrew's going to be there. Reese, sadly, will not be there, and that's okay. You don't have to be there.
You don't.
We'll just cry the whole time that you're not.
You can cry the entire time.
I
you're
will.
not.
Are you going to be at WatCon in July, though? I'm putting you on the spot.
No.
Damn it.
Look, okay.
Well-
I had plans this year that did not involve taint.
Where's a good pandemic when you need one?
Yeah,
I brought my fermentation jar.
just release that.
And in here are habaneros, garlic cloves, red onions, and ginger. And they're all fermenting right now. Oh, there is also half a dozen Carolina Reapers. But anyway, we're going to have the taste that you're going to be able to taste the taint at Jordan Con. So if you're going to be there, cool. I'd love to see you there. I can't wait to see you there. I hope to see you there. As always, I will have the Taste the Taint challenge in which you will be able to taste the taint, and we will give you a ribbon if you taste the taint. If you want to buy a bottle of taint, I usually try and swing that too. Last year was a little bit of a debacle, but that's okay. This year, it looks like we're back on track. So, Jordan Con, come taste the taint.
Also, for those of you that, either just want to pay homage and remember the legend that is Robin Olds, or are just big Air Force fans, or are big fans of men's health, especially men's mental health, it is March, meaning it is Mustache March. We are, at least Josh and I, are disqualified because we have been growing our facial hair since before the start of March. For those of you that don't lip foliage, 'tis to grow it.
I'm Italian,
until the end
say
of
no
March.
more.
Reese, I want to see your fucking mustache at the end of this month. You're Italian Irish, which I think is like a really fun combination.
German and Polish, too. Don't let anybody miss out.
We got equal opportunity here.
We have a good time over here.
Hey, look, I've drank with New Jersey Polish before, and those fuckers do not play around.
I don't know the New Jersey ones, but
Well, you know the Florida ones. I can only imagine. Florida man.
So, in case you didn't know, as of 2014, Robin Olds' daughter, Christina Olds, was still running around visiting Air Force bases, acting as a judge for the mustache grows for Mustache March. Despite a retired Navy commander's best efforts to get Mustache March completely canceled and destroyed.
Well, we can't
Stay
have
in your
morale.
own fucking branch.
We
All
can't
right?
have morale in the military.
Yeah.
If you want to hear, I have a story about the time I yelled at a Navy NCO because he was being stupid. So if you want to hear that story, jump into our Patreon chat afterwards. Oh, you're not a patron? Well, you should do something about that.
Oh. That's too bad.
Are we holding up? All right. Anyway, that'll do it for us here. We've rambled on long enough. Thank you all for tuning in. We love you. We'll see you again next week for another Taintfilled episode, and it's going to be great.
You've been waiting for this moment, for this feeling to grow. In the shadows, always watching, always running the show.